Welcome back to our journey through Mirkwood. We are playing the Lord of the Rings card game, cue box art, and we are I would say, about halfway through. We're on round 5. We have a threat level of 33, which is pretty decent. We've been questing quite successfully with this trio of heroes we have down here. One noble, one dwarf, and one Aragorn. I mean, he's his own class, isn't he, really? We've been doing pretty okay. We've got rid of actually some pretty harsh cards up here, too. We've kicked out a King Spider. We've got rid of the Chieftain, luckily. The Chieftain Orc. And I think we're doing all right. We're going to move on to our next turn. And yeah, let's go. We're doing resources. So we've got 3 resources, one for each of our living heroes. I say living because if one of these people dies and we're only claiming 2 resources a turn, and it does make it very difficult. Here we are. The Flag of Gondor. Until the end of the phase, all characters get +1 battle. All Gondor characters also get +1 defense. Now, we actually do have 2 Gondorian battlers on the board, so that is a pretty decent card. Both Faramir and Guard of the Citadel come under that banner, and I should say it. I don't just know that, it says it there. And throughout the deck there'll be different cards based on, or actually different actions based on those things. So all dwarfs get a buff, or all Aragorns get a buff. That is actually a card. Just targeting Aragorn because he's that good. So let's move on to the planning phase. Now we've got 4 resources to spend. We could toss out another Faramir, which seems a bit funny to do, but also wouldn't be a bad choice, I don't think. If we exhausted them both, which would be amazing, we could exhaust them both and get +2 for so we'd get +6 on our quest. Although actually, I should say one important thing to note is that in our last video we made it past a location and we placed the extra progress tokens that we had onto the quest. When we go from quest 1 to quest part 2, we do not place any extra tokens from our quest or any extra tokens from our quest that we just completed onto the next phase of the quest. So if I was to quest for, say, 12 and get 10 quest points and kick the quest's proverbial arse, I would only still be able to place 1 on here, and the other 9 progress tokens would be wasted. So I probably shall not do that, but keep it in mind for next time. Oh, decisions. We will play Faramir because he gives us such a... He's quite versatile. He can quest, he can attack, and he can defend. And he can't attack for very much, but still. Onto our quest portion of the turn. Well, I feel like if we exhaust... Let's exhaust 1 Faramir. Faramir 2, you stand ready, my friend. You're exhausted, which is giving each of our questing heroes an extra quest point. So even if something absolutely massive comes out to fight us, we should be okay. Yeah, because this we're not getting any threat from. So we're questing a total of 3, 6. Is it questing a total of 8? Is that right? Yeah, I think it is. Oh, brutal. Well, that's fine. I mean, okay. Last turn it was a bit more welcomed because, well, we didn't mind that our heroes were getting damaged if we could pass the quest. However, this time it doesn't feel as good because we've got an empty staging area, and again we're scoring a massive amount of quest points just to place 1. So that kind of sucks, but we have completed the flies and spiders portion of this quest. Now we come to a fork in the road. I told you that this is like a storybook. As you move through Mirkwood, hounded by spiders, the forest path forks before you. Unsure of what lies ahead, but spurred by the urgency of your message, you choose a path and proceed. When you defeat this stage, proceed to one of the two A Chosen Path stages. So remember I told you there was 3 stages to each quest. This actually comes with 4 cards, and you get to shuffle these identical front sides, and then reveal which way or which path we're going to choose through the forest. The nice thing about this is that we've only got to progress 2 quest points to pick our side, so that's pretty good. And the way that we're questing right now, feels like we might be able to get that out of the way pretty quickly. And of course, like I said, if we've been able to place the excess progress tokens on the next quest down, or the quest phase down, I guess you could say, that would have been great. We would be already on to phase 3, but we're not. That isn't how it works. That's our quest phase. I forgot to give Aragorn his daily dose of resources. Thank you, Theodred. And he's going to spend that resource immediately to ready himself for another round of battling against the Beastmaster. The Beastmaster is going to swing at us for 3. A part of me thinks we can block him with Faramir and just take 1 damage onto Faramir and have him be a 2. Or we could take 1 damage onto this Faramir and have him be a 1, but I kind of like having this nice array of different defending possibilities. Oh, and of course I can't take him onto this one because this one's already exhausted, so yes, I will take it onto this. Oh, but will it? The only thing we're risking is because we're taking 2 shadow cards, if we pull a good one and it ups, like we saw earlier or last video, you can maybe up his attack points or all sorts of terrible things. I don't know. Part of me says just lose the Guard of the Citadel and make sure your Faramirs stay out, because they're more useful. Harsh judgment. This Guard of the Citadel, he's been with us since, oh no, I thought he'd been with us since the first turn, but he's a replacement, so yeah, alright, fine. I'm not too committed to him. So let's enter the combat phase. We're going to choose you as a defender. Let's exhaust you. We're going to deal you some shadow cards. Oh my god, again. That is brutal. Deal 1 damage to each exhausted character. That is unbelievable. 3 of those in the deck and we've got them all. I'm pretty sure there's 3. Alright, well that scuppers our plan, doesn't it? Because Faramir just died because he was exhausted. Bloody hell. Aragorn's nearly dead. Glowin's nearly dead. And Theodred's really nearly dead. Oh, wait, I forgot. After Glowin suffers damage, add 1 resource to his resource pool for each point of damage you just suffered. I owe this poor dwarf, who's just been questing and getting battered, I owe him 3 resource points, so I might just do that now. I don't think that's cheating. Did I put him on everyone? Oh, I need to put him on this one too. That is shit. That's fine. Oh, we've still got 1 to go. Oh, you absolute bloody shadow. Choose and discard 1 attachment from the defending character. Excellent. We don't have any of those, so yaboo, and sucks to you. 3 damage goes on to 0 defense, which indeed does defeat the Guard of the Citadel. However, 3 attack from Aragorn and 1 attack from Faramir should prove enough. That's 4 versus 1. Should prove enough to place another 3 damage points on the Beastmaster. And you know what? 6 damage on 5 hit points. You do the math. I know you're an orc, but get out of here. You're gone. So we suffered some losses that turn, but we're okay. Now we've lost the Faramir, but we've got Faramir B in his stead. And we've lost the Guard of the Citadel, but I mean, we didn't even know his name, did we? So how important could he be? Let's refresh. We gained 3 resources because of my forgetfulness. That's pretty neat. Faramir, you're refreshed. Everybody's refreshed. Let's move this up to 1. Up to 1, that'd be nice. And we'll move this. We're on round 6. And we've got an empty battlefield. So that's pretty sweet. You hope. Because, well, if we're questing for 5, there's a chance we might be able to just blast through this fork in the road pretty swiftly. Let's pull a card. Ooh, look at that. A attached hero gains the Gondor trait. Exhaust Steward of Gondor to add 2 resources to the attached hero's resource pool. And that's pretty slick. If we do that, what we're going to do is we're going to place the Steward of Gondor down for 2. We're going to put it down and then tap it immediately. There we go. So, copyright infringement. We're going to exhaust it immediately and gain those 2 back. So that's fine. And then we'll play, I think, this arrow guy. What's his name? The Silverlode Archer will play down for another 3 resource points. And that way, we've got an ally on the board, and next turn, when we tap this Steward of Gondor card, we get an extra 2 resources. So we're actually going to be burning 6 resources each turn, because we get 1 from him when he quests, 3 at the start of a turn, and then 2 from tapping the Steward of Gondor. Pretty slick stuff. Now, it is time to quest. That's our planning done. Let's quest with everybody because, well, the band of heroes that quests together, I can't think of anything to rhyme with quest. Alright, it's the Forest Gate. That's great, that's fine. We're questing for 2, 4, 5. The threat level of the Forest Gate is 2, so we're going to place 3 progress tokens on the fork in the road. And that is that quest complete. Oop. Now we're going to choose at random. I really do mean at random. One of the path cards. You'll notice that this has to happen or interrupts anything that's currently going on in the turn. You can't leave it because you always need to know what your quest is. So, oh boy, which one? Yell at your screen as loud as you can, top or bottom, and what was it? I think I heard all the way in the back. That was a top. No, it's a bottom. Okay, bottom. Bjorn's Path. We need to score another 10 quest points, it says. The trail winds into one of the darkest, most tangled parts of the forest. You sense that a foul, dark presence is hunting you, and you move quickly in an attempt to avoid its evil. You attempt to follow a secret, hidden trail to avoid the enemy. Thank you, Bjorn. We shall indeed do this. I know from prior experience that this makes us face a giant spider, so I'm not too displeased with that. Although if the giant spider happens to pop out of the deck, then we still need to beat it and get 10 points, so it's not as... maybe it's not the best one, now that I think about it. Because, yeah, that would be bad. That would be really bad. Alright, where were we? What was this letter? Were we on a queue? Yeah, we were on a queue. So we can travel now. So let's travel. We're going to travel to the Forest Gate. And when we travel to the Forest Gate, we may draw 2 cards. Well, that's very generous. Oh, we've got another sneak attack. That's pretty slick. We used that for our Faramir in the last video, I believe. And another archer. So we've got a nice band of archers waiting to attack. Now, our encounter phase isn't going to be very busy because, well, there's nothing in the staging area, so our combat phase isn't going to be very busy either. We're not even going to have to spend the point that Aragorn just earned from Theodred. I think I gave it to him. Can't remember if I did. But anyway, we're not even going to have to spend it because we don't even need Aragorn in this turn. He can stay quested and take a little nap. So we're going to move straight onto the refresh phase, which, as I said, we refresh all of our heroes and their attachments. In this case, the Steward of Gondor attachment for Aragorn. Let's move this up to 35, move this onto round number 7, and we'll enter the resource phase of our turn. Well, that was very well placed. 1, 2, and 3 resources there. We will draw a card, which is another Snowborn Scout, you noble beast. That's fine, I'll definitely play him, because again, if you remember, we get to play him for 1. And we'll get to place a progress token on the location, so we'll do that there. And then we've only got one Gondor guy now, so that's not... Oh no, because of the steward, he's now the steward of Gondor, we do still have 2 Gondorian soldiers, one Faramir and one Aragorn, who has gained the Gondor trait from his Steward of Gondor card, which we shall not forget to activate this turn. And alright, yeah, I think that's it for planning. So let's do this. We're going to exhaust the Steward of Gondor and get Aragorn 2 resource points, 2 more resource points. Then we're going to exhaust all of these folks to do a quest. So we're all questing. We're questing for 5. We should earn a resource point from Theodred going to quest. So Aragorn's got a massive 5 resource points here in the bank, just off camera, but I promise he's got 5. And we're questing again. So we've got 5 quests versus the Dol Guldur Orcs 2 threat level there. So we are making 3 quest progress. Oh, hold on. The first player chooses one character currently committed to a quest. Deal 2 damage to that character. You absolute bastards. Alright, fine. Let me see the quest through first. I've got some tough decisions to make here. Boy oh boy, I wish I'd committed someone else to the quest, because we are going to have to get rid of a hero. One of our heroes is about to perish on Bjorn's path. Not a very secret path if it's loaded with bloody orcs, is it? Well, we've done 4 of those, so we've got past that. We can now start putting things on Bjorn's path again if we make it that far. Now we've got to do 2 damage to someone on the quest. I think, to be honest, the interplay between these 2 heroes has probably caused us, or given us, the most benefit in this entire game. I'm definitely not getting rid of Aragorn. I mean, that seems to be obvious. So it is between these 2. And to be honest, Glowin, while I do appreciate and respect his long flowing hair and the way it matches his long flowing cloak, I do think we're going to have to say goodbye. He is defeated, and gosh, it's a sad day. We lose his resource points. We don't get to transfer those to anyone else. We would lose any attachments that he had as well. Luckily, he did not have any attachments, so that's nice, I guess. And we move on to the travel phase. There's no travel. We move on to the encounter phase. We encounter these bastards. You are in for a reckoning, a world of pain, because you killed our friend, and that's bullshit. Alright, I'm going to spend 1 and get Aragorn involved in this fight, because vengeance. And who are we going to defend with? Oh, probably the scout, I guess. He's kind of the most fodderish of characters. God, being a war general is tough. You can make some harsh decisions. Alright, combat time. We're going to give this guy a shadow card which has no shadow text. That's happened a lot this game, which isn't normally, or isn't necessarily always the case. Sometimes you get just belted with shadow cards and it's just a very unpleasant feeling, but this round, or this game, we've done pretty well. 2 damage on 1 defense equals 1 hit point, which is unfortunately all he has to offer, so we shall say goodbye to our 3rd Snowborn Scout. Thank you for your service. Now it's our turn. I mean, some part of me wants to just attack with everybody, because they're all mad. We're all upset. 3, 4, 5, 6. 0 defense. 3 hit points. You've got 6 damage. I feel like we should get extra points for just absolutely smashing the orcs into the ground. We don't, but that's okay. And that's that combat phase over. We're going to refresh. Can't get over the loss of our dwarf friend. Alright, well, we've got the Steward of Gondor on our side. We've got the Rohan Warrior. We've got the Silverlode Archer, and Faramir still kicking it, which is pretty decent. We need to move this up 1. Remember, if we get to 50, we're in trouble, so we're still pretty good. We start off at 29, so to only have gone up 7 is pretty decent, and that's because of our questing abilities between these 2. We're going to move up the round as well, and then we're going to move on to, as it says there, round 8. We're going to pull 2 resource tokens, because, Well, we've only got 2 heroes. We're going to pull a card. Ooh. Tell you what, the Celebrian Stone. Attached to a hero. Attached hero gains 2 quest points. If the attached hero is Aragorn, I told you he was a proper class of his own, he also gains a spirit resource icon. Now, we don't have any spirit cards in here, which is fine, but that's another one of the factions, if you will. So you can make very easily, or you can see you can make very easily a leadership / spirit deck and have this guy and just blam him on Aragorn. And the reason that's important is because if you do have a mixed deck, the card icons here can only be bought with heroes of that faction. So we'd have to have a spirit hero and a leadership hero if we wanted to play both cards. Well, this makes Aragorn both, so that's pretty good. If I was in the market for it, I'd probably put more than one of these in my deck. Yeah, I think that's fair to say. Alright, well, you know what we can do is we can exhaust the Steward of Gondor, get 2 resources, pay for this, so we'll just do that and not do the... And we will attach it to Aragorn. Now that means he's going to get an extra 2 on his next quest, which is pretty good. And let's put out another archer too, because why the heck not? 3 resources there. Do we quest with that archer though? Or do we quest with Faramir? I do want to get this down a bit. We'd be questing for 7, which is a pretty high number. Let's do it. Questing with you, that's 3. And now you're questing for 4, so that's 7. Remember, we gain the resource from Theodred and give it to Aragorn, and we're going to pull the encounter... Not happy with this. Actually, you know what? I'm very happy with this because we chose to commit Faramir to the quest, and if we hadn't, then we would have had another hero down, and then we would have been in massive trouble. Okay, so the Dol Guldur Orcs. We've seen these folks before. The first player chooses 1 character currently committed to a quest. Deal 2 damage to that character when revealed. Well, Faramir, you are taking that one for the team. We are on a... I thought we were doing quite well, but now that I look at it, we're on a bit of a knife's edge because we've only got... This guy's on 1 hit point, Aragorn's on 2, and I know for a fact we don't have anything in our deck that gives us hit points, or it gives us health back. So, makes me feel a bit uncomfortable. Anyway, we're questing still, so we're questing for 2, 3, what do we say, 7? -2, 5. So we get to place a massive 5 progress tokens. That's halfway down Bjorn's path. That's pretty slick. And I think if we can replicate that in the next turn, obviously, then we should be pretty good, barring any disastrous combat effects. We are going to... We can't travel, but we can engage, so we are definitely going to engage. He's a 10. These measly... group of bastards. So, who shall we defend with? I suppose one of our archers. Oh, I need to spend Aragorn's resource point to bring him back, don't we? Yes, we do. And we'll defend with one of our archers. We'll play him a shadow card. Oh, God. Defending player must choose and exhaust 1 character he controls. That's fine, because we've got a spare archer. That's brilliant, because if, again, think about it, if we didn't have a spare archer, we'd have to exhaust Aragorn, and then he wouldn't be able to attack. So then these orcs would stay around for another bloody turn. As it is, we're doing okay, because we've got 2 on 0 is, well, 2. The archer has been fallen. However... in our combat phase, or our attacking phase, 3 damage onto 0 defense does 3, and another band of orcs has been dispatched by our trusty Gondorian sword. We shall refresh. Oof. We need it too. I mean, we need all the refreshments we can take at the minute. We are looking like a ragtag bunch of well, wounded soldiers. That's going up 1. Round number 9. This could be it, though. This could be it. Resource phase. We're going to take 2 resource tokens. We're going to pull a card. After an ally leaves play, the card controller draws 2 cards. Alright, well, that's fine. Okay, that's okay by me. Now, do we just swing everyone at this next quest? Do we need to? No, we don't need to, because this guy's questing for 4, this guy's questing for 1. We only need 5. Oh no, we do need to, don't we? We do need to swing everyone at the quest, because whatever we draw here, it's probably going to be more than 0, so we probably should quest. Have we got any other allies? No. Oof. We're planning, so this is the planning phase. This is what it means to plan. We're going to exhaust the Steward of Gondor to get 2 more resources for Aragorn. This is going to help us if we need to ready all characters in play, so we can afford to actually quest with everybody. And that way we stand more of a chance of getting 5 quest points, depending on what this is. And then we can play this, which we do have more than 5 resources to pay for it. There. And we can ready everybody, which will be pretty nice, actually. So, quest, my friends, and quest well. 1, 2, 3, 4. Plus 4 is 8. We're questing for 8. We need a score of 5. I don't think there's anything with more than a threat of 3, so I think we're going to be okay. Let's see. Oh, yes, we are. The Great Forest Web. It's a location card. No ending enemy, no final stance, just a slip through the path. And we have scored a grand spanking 6? Yeah, okay, just making sure I did my maths right. 6 progress points, and we have gotten through Bjorn's path and quested successfully. That is quest over, and bloody hell, I feel a bit relieved about that. Ooh, I'll show you the other option if you're interested. The other option, or the other path, is to essentially find Ungoliant's spawn and then defeat him. Now, this says that you can only leave the path, or you can't leave the path if Ungoliant's spawn is in play, which it isn't. We get to find Ungoliant's spawn in the deck. Oh, there he is. Oh, it's quite far down to the bottom, so that was pretty lucky for us. And he's this massive spider with 9 health. It swings for 5. And you can't quest while he's around, pretty much. You get -1. So he is a massive, massive spider, and takes a lot to take him down. Now, we were swinging for pretty good amounts, but actually I think what really got us through this is our questing ability. We were throwing 5s and 6s at each quest every turn, and that made it pretty easy for us to kind of progress through the locations and the different quests themselves, the quest phases themselves. Obviously, there's different ways that you can play this, so each deck or each flavor of deck will have a different way to kind of approach it. You know, there's a deck with Gimli and Legolas where essentially you're just trying to annihilate all the enemies you can see, and you kind of get a few quest points from that and get an extra progress point here and there from doing that, which is pretty cool. Against this quest, I've found that it's kind of hit and miss. You have to be really lucky on the cards you get, because as you saw, there's a lot of locations in here too that you have to make your way through, and it's not as good as doing that because they don't have the questing ability that Mr. Aragorn here does. Well, that's the end of the game. So now I'm going to add up my score, I guess, if we're interested in that. So what do? I times this by 10, that's 90. And then I add my threat level, which is 127. I add the threat level of any dead heroes. I am very sorry. That's 9 for glowing, so that's 136. Right? Yeah. 136. Plus any damage tokens on the heroes, that's 6. So we've got what did I just say? 126? No, 136. So 144. We didn't score any victory points, so 144 is our final score, and that's not great, but it's not bad. That's kind of right in the middle, I would say, of my typical scores. Well, I've won with like a 150 and a 150 something, and I've won as well with like a 80 something, or at least high double digits. I think it was an 80. We had one round, I think, in there where we didn't do anything, and that was probably the round where we lost out. Maybe even that happened a couple of times. We had one round where we didn't have a location to travel to, or we didn't have any bad guys to fight, so it was just like, well, round up, I guess, and that adds 10 points to your overall score. So anyway, I hope that you have enjoyed this quest as much as I have, hopefully more than Glowin did, RIP. And yeah, let me know if you've got any questions, any comments, any issues that I may have overlooked. You know, this is the type of game which I'd love to do an ongoing series on. I mean, there's plenty of quests and plenty of decks to go through. So if you guys want to see that, I'm more than happy to put together another scenario and maybe do a bit more, like I said, a bit more of a complicated deck. We could work on putting some of the factions together, things like that. I think the second quest in this set involves an Asgul, and that's awesome and also terrifying. So that could be an option too. All right, well, anyway, let me know what you want to see. I really appreciate it for you guys sticking around and watching this far. And yeah, don't forget to drop a like, hit subscribe, and comment on anything you see fit. That is going to be it from me. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.